Many families that lost loved ones to COVID-19 say they are just frustrated that the president is still downplaying the threat after his hospital stay. Amanda Klutz, for instance, wife of Broadway star Nick Cordero, who died from the coronavirus, recorded an emotional response after the president's statement on Monday night.
Don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it.
Let it dominate your life? No one's letting it. Nick didn't let it. It wasn't a choice. Have some empathy to the people who are suffering and grieving.
Oh, Amanda, more than 3,100 Americans have died of COVID since Mr. Trump revealed his positive test 5 days ago. Our lead national correspondent, David Begnaud, spoke to others who say they, too, are hurt by the president's comments.
I just felt really disrespected and unheard.
This is Kara Goucher, a two-time U.S. Olympian and silver medal-winning long-distance runner. Her grandfather, 96-year-old Calvin Hayworth, died yesterday due to complications from the coronavirus. When we spoke to her earlier in the day, she told us that she just could not believe what the president was saying about COVID-19.
I'm glad that he was treated and that he is beating COVID, but for so many people, hundreds of thousands of people in this country, that's not the case. And the pain is very, very real.
The tone from the top matters.
Karen Aguirre told us it was the president's behavior that upset her. She lost her cousin, 65-year-old Sandy Melgar, and Sandy's 66-year-old husband, Renee, to the virus last month. They died 3 days apart.
When I saw him get in a car with the Secret Service agents and drive around and wave to everybody, and I thought, the people in the car have families. The people who tend to him, they have families. And now they're exposed to a virus they're going to take home with them.
As the president continues to downplay the virus, Goucher is asking President Trump for more compassion.
I really was thinking today, watching my grandfather struggle with every breath of his being. His life is worthy. He is a World War II veteran. He deserves to die with dignity and with respect and with his family surrounding him. And if we had all worn our masks and if we had all social distanced, we would be able to hug him and tell him what we feel and hold his hand. And it's devastating to lose him.
Kara was especially close to her grandfather. He helped to raise her and her sisters after Kara's dad died, killed by a drunk driver when Kara was just 4 years old. Both of the women you just heard from, both of them went out of their way to say, we are glad the president is recovering and we want him to do well. But Gail, Kara in particularly said, David, for those of us who are suffering, some empathy goes a long way.
Boy, David, thank you very much. It's so important to hear those voices, Anthony. It reminds me of the pieces you do so beautifully about the lives that have been lost and a reminder that these are real people behind these numbers.
Yeah, and that it affects the old, the young, every income bracket, every race, creed, color. You know, Gail, it's 200 and almost, what's like 210,000?
210. Yeah. I thought Amanda made a good point where she said, we didn't let it dominate our lives.
No.
It happened to us. It destroyed our lives. There's nothing, we couldn't do that. Boy, ahead. It's one of those stories, you look at that story and all you can do is just go,